Yeah, I mean, look, I said earlier to somebody else who asked me a question, it's never easy for players to be able to deal with the sort of sustained disappointment that we've had this season. So really, we've not had a spell where we've been out of trouble all season, and we still have got a lot of work to do. But credit where credit's due, the players, although it's quite a difficult situation to find ourselves in, found answers today. The second game in a week where we've gone a goal behind, but able to win it. So I think let's just look at it from the positive aspects of that, and I have to reflect very much on how the players have coped with the situation. They've done exceptionally well. You know, it doesn't matter how good a squad you have, but they've still got to be able to deal with the mental pressures that players are under to perform, and good for them.
I know it's a team effort, but 2 big penalties under pressure. There's probably not a player anywhere in the world you'd rather have take them.
Anywhere in the world? It doesn't matter. Look, Troy's our player. Troy really enjoys, or I don't know whether he enjoys it, but he is prepared to take the responsibility, is prepared to absorb some pressure. And that in itself takes some courage, you know. So he's had some criticism of late, but his response to that sort of a scenario is to go out and take it into his hands, and I'm very pleased that he was able to convert both of them.
Both the pundits working today, pitch side, say that 34 points will be enough this season to stay up.
Do they? Well, look, they're not in my shoes. They're not with us. We know we've got work to do. We've still got 3 games left. We have respect for the people and other clubs who are fighting relegation. Our job now is to see our own job through, and we have to pick enough points up ourselves. So, yes, if things go your way elsewhere, that can be beneficial, but we are focused on trying to achieve our own goals, and that is to win enough points ourselves to take it out of anybody else's hands. And that's something that, we've had a reasonable week, let's be honest, but we've still got a lot of work to do, and that's important to remember.
Finally, from me, if you don't mind, I know it's a bit off the case in hand, but a quick word about Big Jack.
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet him on a few occasions and hear some stories, because I played for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, I didn't play for him, but heard some real, some gems of stories about his time. But I think it would be pretty accurate to say that anybody who came across him, who worked with him, worked for him, had a lot of, not just respect for him, but they had a lot of warmth towards him as well. So as a very successful professional, as a player and as a manager, he's a big loss. But it's always sad when you get news of somebody who's been such a great character within the game and is a part of history in English football. So always a miss, yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Nigel. Thanks, Richard.
Okay, cheers now. Thank you.
Okay, we got other broadcasts on here? I don't think we have we? No. Okay, we're going to written then. In that case, fire away, guys. Go on, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Nigel.
Are you okay?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. I'm just watching Troy limp across the pitch now with a heavy bandage on his right knee. Can you tell us what the nature of his injury is? Is it something that might conceivably rule him out of your next 3 games, or is it just like a bang on the knee?
No, he's an experienced player, which is a nice way of saying he's at the wrong end. But Troy has what I call a grumbly knee that he has to manage on a daily and weekly basis. This is nothing new. He's got, it's something in which he's come to terms with and has to manage. So, you may see with the bandage today, but it's nothing. That's nothing new. He's has to be. We have days where we have a number of players who have what we call modified training. So, when you ask me on a weekly basis about injury news, even players who are available week in, week out, there will be some within, I think, most squads who have to manage long-term physical difficulties, and Troy's done this for a long time. So he's been available and he contributed in a very positive way today.
Can I just ask you, did you have any doubt at all about either of those penalties, about A, where they were going, and B, how powerfully they'd be struck?
Well, there's always doubt. Firstly, when penalties are given, I know Steve wasn't particularly happy about the first one in particular. It's more about players being confident enough or being able to absorb the pressure of the situation. And what I would say about Troy is I don't think there could be in any doubt that he was committed to taking them both. So it's great that he converted them both. It means we've won the game. Players deal with pressure in different ways, but he's when criticism comes his way, he's hurt by it. And all I'm saying is he's, as our captain, prepared to absorb some pressure for the other players. But we still judge his performances in a way which we would do anybody else. But I have a bit of empathy for players in this situation where it's not always easy to perform at your best. And I think that first half was difficult for us just because we couldn't find any rhythm, and Newcastle started pretty brightly and took the lead. So it was a potentially another difficult day for us, but the second time in a week we've been able to get a win from a losing position, which has been difficult for us this year.
Nigel, what did you say to them at half-time?
It's really just about, I'm not going to tell you what I said to them, but essentially the message is that it's really important for us to commit to the game ourselves. I really do understand how difficult it is at times to manage the anxiety of the situation that we're in. When you've been a side in and around the bottom all year, you've got this feeling of there's been a lot of disappointment for us this season, and that's quite a telling effect on how positive you can be. And I think I see our boys every day when they train. We have a really good group of people here. And the players have worked exceptionally hard. But I also understand that, the pressures that they're under to deliver. All I'm going to say is that it's important for us to stay in control of our own destiny. That's the most important thing for us. And so to come out again with another win, although it's a tight win again, it's testament to how the players went about it. So it's not really about disclosing what goes on in the dressing room. The players know when they're not at their best. It's about trying to give them some encouragement and some. It's not about being negative. It's about trying to find the right way of being able to perform. That's what it is.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Hi Joe, hello, it's Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, can you just assess the contribution of Ismail Assar, especially in that second half, because he seemed to be more alive in that second half and made a telling contribution.
Yeah, he's a really talented player, and let's not forget how young he is as well. A difficulty for all players, especially creative players, when their involvement is limited. It's really difficult for players to stay in a game sometimes. But I thought what he showed today is how his involvement in terms of when we're an attacking force, he's a very talented lad, really talented. He's a very quiet man, but I like him a lot. He's as I've said, he's young. He can go a long way in the game for sure. But it's important that we don't put too much emphasis on one person's shoulders. He will have a better chance of shining in a game if the team functions well. If we're not playing with a fluidity, sometimes it's very difficult to get these players into the game. But what pleases me as well is his desire and his application to do what we need to do out of possession as well. Because when you're in our situation, it really is vital that everybody tries to be on the same page. And he had a good second half for sure. I think if you look at other games, you might say he's had a really good first half. He's a match winner, let's put it like that. And I think it's always. There are match winners at both ends of the field, always. And I think it's important for him that he's able to be a free enough spirit as well when we have the ball to do what he's good at. So we don't overcomplicate the defensive organisation, but certainly I think he's made great progress this season. And yeah, he's a player who brings an awful lot to our team for sure.